Patmos, Shetty, New Providence. The first one is 591. It's about the paratransit and Route 22 shuttle service, a yearly activity for $4.4 million. My general question is, how many people is that served on a daily basis? And how often are these operational expenses reviewed by the people who operate it and the county itself?
591. That is a shuttle that is money that was available to do a welfare to work shuttle. It goes from Plainfield, from Norway to Plainfield to take people back and forth to work. It's a 15-passenger van. It's about 15 individuals on a daily basis. It runs twice a day. I think it's 3 days a week now. We had to cut back because the state of New Jersey cut back on the funding to begin with. We were running 5 days a week. It's a much-needed transportation service because of the way it runs. And it's, in some instances, and in most instances, the people that ride it, it's the only way for them to get back and forth to work on a daily basis. And I think the part of the other question was how are the funds monitored? And they are on a regular basis. We have to submit reports to the state of New Jersey based on our use, based on our expenditures, and they are looked at and the program is monitored continuously where the funding will be managed by the state of New Jersey.
Now I'd like to talk to Resolution 591. It was explained, and I believe I don't know if I understood correctly, or maybe need re-explanation. I was curious as to the number of people that the 4,413,000 serves in the county. And I was wondering the dollars spent in this resolution, what it was compared to in last year's dollars spent. I was wondering, this is not the same shuttle that showed up at the Music in the Park a couple of weeks ago in Echo Lake Park, where a shuttle appeared and brought 2 people to the park to enjoy the music. It waited for them and then left with them later on. This is a different shuttle. Maybe you could answer that for me. Appreciate it. So I'm curious as to what the requirements are for people who use the shuttles. I think it's a great thing that brings people to work. I'm not sure it's something particularly does. Though I do support the arts.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm sorry I wasn't clear before, but let me try again. The 88,000 that's added to that resolution brings the 4 million is the overall paratransit system. So the 88,000 is used specifically as part of that bid that goes out to provide the shuttle service from Rollway, Plainfield, Rollway, and back. The average number, as I said before, it's a 15-passenger vehicle. It runs back and forth twice a day. That's 60 times 3 days a week. That's 180, give or take, the amount of people that ride it. And in terms of seeing a Union County paratransit vehicle at one of the parks, it was used because it specifically provides transportation for individuals that are disabled and elderly. And in most cases, that is the only means of transportation they have to get back and forth to the social activities that we do around the county. And that is a proper and actually one of the better uses that we have for those vehicles.
Actually, I would like to do a follow-up yet again on my questions on Resolution 591. Director Guzzo has come up and twice stated the number of people that the bus is able to hold, but is quite frankly not answered the question as to how many people are served on a yearly basis. I'm supposed to do the math, figure out that it's a full bus load 3 times a week for 52 weeks. That's one number. But if it's not a full bus load, that's another number. So I'm very curious as to what that number is in the way of number of taxpayers in Union County who are being served by this bus, and how this amount compares to the amount spent last year. So I really would appreciate those answers to those questions.
Mr. Guzzo, 591. I'm not sure if you have that information, but he's looking more so of not just the buses, but how many on a yearly, oh, I'm sorry, you have a handy dandy electronic machine. Go right ahead, Director Guzzo.
Yes, Madam Chair. First and foremost, the funding is consistent with previous years. So it was 88,000 plus last year, it's 88,000 this year. And I do stand corrected. It actually, that money covers both, not only the Welfare to Work shuttle, but also the Route 22 shuttle. And the last figures that I have available is on the Route 22 shuttle, which, as you know, deals with probably one of the worst corridors that we have in the county. It averages about 200 residents a day utilizing that shuttle, and on the Welfare to Work, the last figures I have, it provided over 11,500 rides, and the last I have is 2011. But for Mr. Bittner, as I've done before, I'd be happy to email him more current figures since he's asked the question.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just 1 second. And Frank, just so everyone's clear, when that $4 million figure is the entire paratransit budget, and that comes from the casino revenues, which we know has dropped over the years because of going casino revenues. But maybe, I don't know, and I don't know if you have this at the top of your head, the number of residents that are serviced by the entire priority. And I know there's a lot of rides and a lot of other duplicate people, but maybe at some point, and I would say that tonight, but I'm sure you could come up with a number of rides that provide, like in 2012, you know, in past years, that really gives an indication of how many people in the county use the paratransit.
We have it. We do the reports on an annual basis. I don't have it with me.
No, I wouldn't
I'd be happy to provide it to the board and to the public at the next meeting. And, you know, as Madam Chair, as Freeholder Sullivan correctly stated, the $4 million plus is a combination of casino revenue and other grants that we actively pursue, like the JARC money that you see here tonight, that allows us to not only supplement, which we believe to be one of the linchpin services for the County of Union, because it provides access to both seniors and our residents that are disabled to many functions within the county, including our conference in the park, but it also allows us, because of the funding that we go after, to provide rides for people that need access to work and also access to shopping on Route 22 as an example of that.
Thank you.